individual images. Um, this is a pretty exciting lesson because, when you have a lot of different images and you start, put, putting all of them together into one single panorama, it's quite interesting thing because you're building something from nothing to something beautiful. So, it's kind of amazing. You can use a lot of different softwares for stitching panoramas. But probably PTGUI is the most professional one. At least it's the one that I saw in many visual effects studios all over the world. And it's pretty simple. You just need to click a few buttons and you are already there. Your final panorama is going to be there for you. So you don't need to know much about this software. Actually, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show it to you how to use it in just 5 minutes. Even less than that. So first of all, you need to load the images, all the individual images. You need to click on load images, or you can go to your folder over here, pictures, Windsor, broadcast, UK, plates, and go to nav. Okay, we are using the raw images, of course. We are not using the JPEG images because the JPEG images don't have enough information. Okay, so we're gonna use the nav pictures. If you wanna have a look to this again, okay, just remember how is gonna be our panorama. Okay, that's cool. So select all of them, and it's important to select them following the correct order. So they should be selected from the darker image from the darkest image to the lightest image which means this? Well, this means that we're gonna start with the lowest exposure value image to the highest exposure value image. And we rename this in a very smart way from exposure value 1 to exposure value 5. So we can select the first one and then the latest one and come in here and just drag and drop this into the PTGUI here. Okay, so this is very important. PTGUI is smart enough to check your camera, and this small window is now reading your metadata. Okay, so it can know which is your camera brand and your camera model. In this case, it's going to be Nikon D800. The focal length is 10.5 millimeter fisheye less. This is cool because we should using this lens. And now we have to click here in one of these presets. Digital SLR. In my case, it's a digital SLR, so I can click here. And these settings, are just set automatically. This is just amazing. So click on here. Okay, that's fine. So we can check our images and they are all fine here. And they are in the correct order from the darkest one to the lightest one. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the first angle, then the second angle, then the third angle, the fourth and the fifth, all of them, and the sixth as well. They are all of them here. So this data is automatically set up by the computer, by the software. So it's a full frame fisheye lens, 10.5 millimeters. This is just great. And then click on Align Images. And this is going to be an automatic process. what this automatic process sometimes is good, sometimes it's not good. But if you are using a good tripod and a good panoramic head, this automatic process is going to work every time. It's going to work extremely fine because your images are perfectly accurate. Okay, so click on Align Images. And look at this. It's bracketed exposures. You need to click, in my case, I need to click here. Enable High Dynamic Range mode and link the bracketed images. Choose this option if the images were taken from a tripod and they are already aligned with pixel accuracy. They are, because we use a good tripod and we use a good panoramic head. So we need to use this. And we need to use also True High Dynamic Range, because we shot 5 different exposure values for each single shot. So we have a lot of information here. So we want to combine all of this information into one single panorama. This is True High Dynamic Range. Okay, it's like saying to the software, okay, I want all the information in my pictures, in my 42 pictures, into one single panorama, because I want to create something right, something beautiful, something really, really useful. So I want a true high dynamic range image. Okay, this is going to be used for 3D lighting, so we need that information. Maybe if we are not interested in 3D lighting, if we're just interested in printing, we can use exposure fusion, because this is gonna take like the most useful parts of each image, and put that information in one single image, in one single panorama. But in our case, we want the true high dynamic range. We want all the information there, not only the nice information, the nice looking information. We want everything. So click on OK. Okay, and this is generating like a preview of the final panorama. This is going to take just a few seconds, okay? So, okay, look at this. This is a preview of the final panorama. Look at this. This is just great. It's working. Okay, we don't need to do anything at all. That's it. It's working fine. Well, it's kind of blurry and, these things over here, but this is just because this is a preview. Okay, in the final panorama, this would be extremely sharp, and these things here would be very, very nice. So no worries about it. It's just a preview. If you go here to the control points, you can select, for example, you can see these control points. They are, set up automatically by the software. But you can choose one of these and move it around and say, okay, this 0.7 here is over here. But, the software is smart enough to do it for us. But sometimes we need to do it by hand, especially when you're shooting, indoor places and the light is not very good and you have very dark areas. You need to sometimes say to the software, help the software saying which ones are the control points. Okay, this is the thing. You just need to click here and then click here to set up the point. Okay, it's like saying, okay, this tree here is this tree here. It's just like that. Okay, finally, you need to go here, exposure high dynamic range, and click on enable high dynamic range stitching through high dynamic range. Scroll down, everything's right here. Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Control points, source images. Yeah, everything's fine. So yeah, in here we need now to just save out this. To save out this, let me maximize this. Okay, just come here and click on, sorry, I can't find it right now. Sorry, I think it's because I changed the control points, and the software can't understand what's going on now. So I just click to undo a lot of times and align again through high dynamic range, enable high dynamic range bracketing images. Okay. If the automatic process works fine, just don't come. Here is working fine, so you don't need to come here, control points, and and change things, because you can just break the control points that the software made for you. So now, yes, I have here the Create Panorama tab. So here, click on maximum size, and this is going to be about 13,000 pixels. Well, this by default creates a JPEG version of the panorama for you. That's fine, but we're interested in this high dynamic range file format, and in our case, we're going to use EXR. So just come here to the output path and select it here, panorama. We are in our project files, panorama raw, and we're going to call this Windsor Broadcast UK 0001 EXR. Click on Save, and now click on Create Panorama, and this starts the stitching process. And this is going to take, well, at least 3 or 4 hours. So I'm going to pause the video, and in the next lesson, we will have a look to the